Matteo Berrettini might just be the most informed tennis player at the moment, but he's had an extremely mixed grass swing this year. Few players are better adapted to the grass courts than Berrettini, and in the last 2 years, the Italian has made a name for himself on the greens. He successfully defended his Queen's Club trophy and added that to his second of the grass season. Let's take a look. First up, Berrettini wins Queens. As if there was any doubt. Yeah, Berrettini hadn't played in a few months prior to his return for the grass season, but he's so talented and a different beast on grass. His translation of talent to results has been phenomenal, and he's really stepped it up in the last year. In fact, apart from the Big Four, there isn't a better player on grass than Berrettini, and he'd give all of them a fair run for their money too. So when he arrived at Queens, there wasn't a lot of doubt over his credentials. After all, he was the defending champion at Queens, and he was coming into the tournament off the back of a special week in Stuttgart, where he added his first title of the year to his trophy collection. The 26-year-old was the second seed, but he played like the favorite, as he became only the 8th player in history to win back-to-back Queens titles. In fact, he won the tournament on both of his appearances in the tournament, and if that's not a promising sign of things to come, then we don't know what is. With this win, Berrettini became the first man to win Queens back-to-back since Andy Murray achieved the special feat in 2015 and 2016. Every other player to win Queens back-to-back has gone on to win a Grand Slam title and become the world #1, so that's not bad company to keep at all. Next, we have Berrettini's path to Queen's title. While there were a few notable absentees in Queens, it still provided a great lineup, like always. For the start of the prestigious tournament, Berrettini was given the tough task of opening the tournament by facing the local hero Dan Evans in the first round, and that's certainly not an easy task. But a player as assured as Matteo has different ideas altogether. He didn't get broken even once and romped to a quick-fire dominant 6-3, 6-3 win against the former British #1. However, things would only get tougher for Berrettini as he found himself facing Kudla in the round of 16, and those who watch tennis regularly know that Kudla can be a tough cookie. In fact, he broke Berrettini and quickly wrapped up the first set before producing a pure masterclass in the second. Berrettini held on to force a tiebreak, where he edged Kudla and won the thriller in 3 before cruising past Kudla's American counterpart, Tommy Paul, in the quarters. The Italian faced the newest Dutch star on the block, Wojtek van de Zandschulp, who simply wasn't a match for Berrettini's lethal forehand. With another straight-set win, Berrettini found himself into the final of Queens with a relatively easier draw, and suddenly he was 2 sets away from history. In the finals, however, Matteo faced a rejuvenated Filip Krajinovic, who had somehow found himself in the finals, but was simply no match for Berrettini. The Italian superstar made light work of the Serb and defended his Queens title successfully. And now Berrettini's busted luck. After winning Stuttgart and Queens back-to-back, Berrettini was handed a pretty decent draw for his Wimbledon adventures. The 2021 Wimbledon finalist had a decent pathway to the finals, and with the kind of form he's in, it wouldn't be a surprise if he ended up winning Wimbledon. But of course, fate would have different plans for the 26-year-old. A day before Berrettini was set to return to the biggest stage of tennis, it was announced that Berrettini had pulled out of the first game in the tournament against Christian Garin. It was a complete shocker for the world of tennis, as Berrettini became the second player to join Marin Cilic on the sidelines due to this god-awful pandemic. It's a huge blow for the tennis world, and in particular, Wimbledon. This season's Wimbledon might just go down in history as one of the most controversial and poorly managed tournaments of all time. First, the ban on Russian and Belarusian players. If that wasn't controversial enough, now they've lost 2 Wimbledon finalists to the pandemic through no fault of their own. However, there are winners in every situation, and the 2 players that will love this news are the top 2 seeds, Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. Things just got a little easier for the 2 legends, and they're usually quite chill when they're super tough, so it wouldn't be entirely wrong to place a huge bet on their heads to win Wimbledon. Next, in other related news, Sinner wins. Isner breaks record. Matteo Berrettini is a huge miss in Wimbledon, but Italian tennis fans shouldn't give up on Wimbledon completely. They've got another huge talent in Yannick Sinner, who seems like he's in fine form this time around. He may not be as big a player as Berrettini on grass, but he's definitely got a higher ceiling, and he's been impressing everyone in this year's Wimbledon. He's done something that not many players can do, which is beat John Isner, officially the biggest serve bot on tour, without dropping a set. That's seriously impressive, to say the least, and kudos to the 20-year-old for sticking to his principles and standing firm against Isner's bombing serve. However, even Sinner's fine straight-set win couldn't stop Isner from breaking the all-time world record for most serves, as he went past former Wimbledon champion Ivo Karlovic. At the same time, time, though. We think Isner would have traded breaking the record in this game for winning the match, but it just wasn't meant to be. For Sinner, he lives to fight another day and sets up a clash against another super promising talent in Carlos Alcaraz. The two young guns will square up against each other in a day's time, and it should be an absolute cracker. And if history is to go by, it should be even better than their superb matchup in the Paris Masters last year. And now, Kyrgios sets up Tsitsipas clash. Swiatek Norrie power through. Nick Kyrgios had a really tough opening fixture at Wimbledon and had to defeat local lad Jubb in 5 to scrape through. He looked more like himself against Filip Krajinovic as he smashed him in 3, dropping only 6 games and setting up a blockbuster third-round fixture against 4th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. The Greek star has been looking much better this time around and has only dropped a set so far. He'll need to be at his absolute best to get anything against Kyrgios, though, who enjoys playing on grass more than any other surface. One thing's for sure, it'll be a real spectacle. On the other hand, Iga Swiatek is looking imperious once again after handing out another bagel in her opening game. She dropped a set against Leslie Kirchhoff before recovering to win the third and set up an exciting match against French star Elise Cornet. Swiatek's 2022 has been unmatched, and she's currently on a superb streak of wins. Can Cornet find that extra piece of skill to defeat Swiatek? Only one way to find out. Cam Norrie, Britain's #1, is also looking really good, and it seems he's finally found his boots on the grass. He started his Wimbledon journey really well after bageling Spanish talent Andujar, only to get tested to the max by another Spaniard, Munar. Norrie recovered to hand him a bagel before being generous enough to hand out a breadstick and a bagel in the third round against Johnson. He's in the round of 16 and will face another American and Tommy Paul. Finally, we have mixed results for Williams sisters. Who would have known we'd have a similar heading into 2022? Not us for sure. The Williams sisters have dominated the WTA for a long time. Even though they're not at their peak anymore, they continue to break the barriers of what's considered normal in tennis. In this edition of Wimbledon, though, they've had mixed fortunes so far. Serena Williams' return was a huge moment for tennis, and she came back with a bang. She gave it her all in the first set, but it wasn't enough as Harmony Tan did just enough to win the first set. But Serena returned with a vengeance to take the second set 6-1. In the third, however, the 40-year-old just couldn't live with Tan in the tiebreak and suffered a heartbreaking loss to the 24-year-old French star. But not everything is bad in the Williams household. Venus Williams' surprising return had the entire tennis world in a chokehold, and she delivered. Venus joined hands with Jamie Murray in the mixed doubles, and the duo had enough firepower to hang on to their second-round win on court 1. Say what you want, tennis just isn't complete without the Williams sisters making the headlines, and we hope they're there for many years to come. And that's a wrap for this video. Are you also heartbroken over Berrettini's terrible luck? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.